33 car good to the finish on fuel, Dave?
Well, depends on what you believe, Alan. They went 75 laps with 2 caution periods the last time. They got to lap 226, 74 to go. Just talked to Shane Wilson, can you make it? He gave me the nod that they could. This morning I asked him how far they could go on fuel. 70 under green if we're not saving, somewhere closer to 75 or 80 if we are. Can you save fuel and lead the race, DJ?
It certainly makes it more challenging, Dave. There's no doubt about that. And saving 5 to 10 laps, we're talking, yeah, this is a mile racetrack, so that's saving quite a bit. And the only way that you have to do it here basically is rolling out of the throttle, and he's leading.
Yeah, he's not going to have the luxury of having a big lead to work with either. He's got Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon coming. Vince?
Tony Stewart can make it to the end on fuel. Crew Chief Darian Grubb, of course, this race last year, Stewart was leading in the final laps when he ran out of fuel, and that gave that chase opening victory to Clint Boyer. Can they do it again? Can they win a second straight race in the chase? They're looking pretty good right now. The 24 of Jeff Gordon also in the mix, as you see him right on the tail of Stewart. Now, they have told Gordon that although Stewart can likely make it, they have doubts about Clint Boyer. So Gordon knows he's racing for position as well with the 14. Maybe it's for the win.
All right, thanks, Vince. So as we look at Jeff Gordon, look ahead at Tony Stewart, let's talk about this 14, because for a lot of the race, he was mired back in traffic, lacked that track position we talked about, and now all of a sudden, when it gets down to it counting the most, he's found his way up to the front.
You see Jeff Gordon's 21.6. That's because he sat on pit road, basically ran it too far. He was out of fuel, so they were trying to get it restarted. They were trying to stretch it a little bit during that segment so they would have enough fuel for maybe a green-white checker. And so we feel like he's really good to the end, Jeff Gordon is. But, man, he gave up a lot of track position, lost the lead, and now he's going to have to try to pass these 2 cars back.
So Stewart with the solid stop, Gordon with the slow stop. Casey Kane was in front of them. He's on a different pit schedule, so now Kane fading back. And you see the picture tightening up at the front of the pack. Boyer, Stewart, Gordon, 1, 2, and 3. 41 laps to go at New Hampshire. And I don't think we've seen the last twist of plot in this one yet. We go NASCAR nonstop, presented by Goodyear. "36 laps to go. Chase race number 2, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That is the race for the lead. Clint Boyer, 33. Tony Stewart, 14. With Jeff Gordon somewhat close behind them. The gap between these top 3 varying depending on lap traffic that they're catching here and there.
And we saw this right here last year. The role was reversed a little bit with Tony Stewart leading the race.
All right, bud, I know you don't want to hear this. I need you to start taking care of the throttle here. The problem with our last pit stop was the exchange on the gas cans, and we struggled there a little bit. Just start easy in, let's brake, easy off.
Jeff Gordon's radio.
Yeah, that's not good news. We thought he was plenty safe by making that long pit stop, so they would have gotten him full.
But did not. And you heard the description there, the exchange between the 2 gas cans.
This fueling system is very hard. It's hard to get it full, and it's just something the teams have been struggling with some.
So Jeff Gordon going to give up 3rd spot there to Casey Kane, who goes by him.
And let Kane go, because we know he has to get on pit road one more time. He doesn't have enough fuel. It's been a good run for Casey Kane and this team, though. We've seen them a lot of times have speed fall off, but they've hung right in there, leading laps and right up in the top 3 most of the day.
Now, Kevin Harvick leading the championship starting this day, all the way back in 18th place right now, Dave.
And even though his teammate is leading, certainly not all smiles in the Richard Childress Racing camp right now.
How can that 33 run so much further than us Childress? I mean, is that right?
I don't know, Kevin. We've been getting 3.8 all day long. We cannot go that far. If we'd have pitted with a 33 did, we'd run out with 8 to go.
If that's the case, we need to have sooner schooling on Monday and figure out why that is, because that's not acceptable.
So Keselowski in 4th position right now, trying to get to the finish, and behind him, remember we heard the radio traffic earlier from Jeff Gordon. His crew chief Alan Gustafson saying the exchange between the 2 fuel cans on the pit stop, they didn't apparently get the car full of fuel, and Jeff was told he needed to save gas, and he's faded back now to his 5th position, 11 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, he really had to back things down because he was right there with the 2 leaders that we have right now, Boyer and Stewart, ready to make a run on them. But
I tell you, Stewart's the one I'm not sure about. I'm not sure that he hadn't been just stalking this 33, knowing that he can save a little fuel. He might be ready to pounce on him here in these last 5 laps.
Just kind of taking the measure of him, pacing him.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to stay close enough to push him on the fuel issue.
Tony Stewart began the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup with the win at Chicagoland Speedway on Monday. We talked then about would that be what launched them in to a championship bid after, frankly, a season that wasn't as successful as we expected out of Stewart and this team.
Well, he's 6 laps away from getting that win. He's got half of his wins from this track.
in front of him, Boyer, this is what I'm talking about. He's having to use fuel here. He's having to run extremely hard right now, trying to get Bobby Labonte here. So it's not like he can ease around and make all of that happen.
Labonte was trying to stay on the lead lap, 22nd place. He's just gone a lap down. Stewart closing in.
Yeah, it's time for Stewart to go. If he's got anything left, he needs to put it all out there right now.
Ryan Newman on pit road under the green with 5 to go. Bad break for 39. Report from pit road right front on that 39 car.
I think that might have been a loose wheel. It didn't look like that tire was flat.
Driver felt something he didn't like and didn't think he could take for 5 more laps. So 4 laps to go. Clint Boyer out in front of this race, trying to hold off Tony Stewart for the win. All of these drivers thinking they possibly have fuel to the finish, or they possibly don't. A familiar situation in 2011 in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. For Stewart, a win would be 2 for 2 in the chase. For
Three more laps. 3 to go.
I didn't like the sound of his voice right there. It sounded like it may have stumbled on him.
That was Boyer's radio.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin looks like he's out of gas.
Oh, man, that's a tough break for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah,
So-
he had got to Jeff Gordon's back bumper for that 5th spot right before that happened.
So we've already seen 1 run dry. And Stewart is stalking. Report from pit road. Boyer is questioning whether he's running out of fuel. Here comes Stewart.
Yeah, there it is. He's out.
Stewart to the lead. 2 laps to go.
Now, does Tony have enough fuel?
It was this race a year ago. Stewart led coming off turn 4 to the white flag. And he ran out of gas. Is it going to be different this time?
He's got a big lead. He can sit on that. He doesn't have to run very hard.
White flag is up this time. 1 lap to go.
Looks like Brad Keselowski took second away from Greg Biffle.
Final lap at New Hampshire. Watching Tony Stewart to see if he's got enough fuel to make it. The advantage he has, he's up 7 seconds on Keselowski now as other people begin to fade.
Take a deep breath, I got this.
It sounds like he's got plenty of fuel.
So if he was stalking him, he knew just what he was doing. 2 wins in a row to start the chase.
Way to go.
Tony Stewart wins at New Hampshire.
Wow, that's impressive by Tony Stewart and this team. Brad Keselowski, great day.
Greg Biffle out of fuel coming to the checkers.
See if Jeff Gordon can beat him. Nope. Looks like Biffle beat Gordon to the line.
But Gordon was able to stretch the gas to get there. Keselowski gets second, Biffle third, Gordon fourth, Brian Vickers comes home 5th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. possibly out of gas coming to the checkers also and got a right front.
Wow, Matt Kenseth comes home 6th. What a rebound for him.
Oh, another crazy finish. And Vince, this year at New Hampshire is going to come out a lot better for Darian Grubb, Tony Stewart's crew chief.
Tell you what, they are celebrating here in the 14 box, and Darian, a lot better finish this time than a year ago, huh? How good's that feel?
Feels really good. Way to start the chase here. This awesome team, SHR. I can't say enough for everything that they've done. Starting to chase off 2 wins. We can't think anything better.
Well, they had a few slip through their hands early in the season, but they have put it together here to start the chase. Back-to-back wins, Alan.
We we check the championship standings after the second race in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon did make a nice move using that conservative strategy to not run out of fuel. He didn't gain on the leaders, but he did gain 6 spots.
Yeah, just looking at Tony Stewart, the move that they have made here, I don't think any of us could see this coming, but Brad Keselowski, we talked about him possibly getting in this chase the way that they ran, that they could be a sleeper and battle for this championship, and they're right there.
Tony Stewart's got a lot of confidence. He's doing great at saving fuel. He's doing great at winning races. And I got to tell you, I said it wasn't going to be a fuel mileage race today. I was wrong. It was a fuel mileage race again.
What about Tony Stewart? What a racer. Brad Keselowski, great run.
Coming up next, Sports Center with continuing coverage from right here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Congrats once again to Tony Stewart. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.